Welcome back to Faith in Action. I'm Bridget Eyre. Jim Ganley and I are in the studio, and we're talking with our guest, Ed Josa. He is author of The Mystic Next Door, and he's talking about his experience after a car accident, what he suffered, and how he encountered God. I want to ask you...
You know, people usually think of mystics as something, situations that happened years ago or in faraway places, etc. This is...
Yeah, and this happened in, 2017 was your car accident?
Yeah, it happened in Indiana, in a hospital and on the road, in a car wreck,
So what do you think God is trying to communicate to you, and what does he want you to communicate to others through this experience that you went through?
Right. So as awful as that experience was that I just told you about, it was just a preparation, I believe, a cleansing of my soul, because the next night, I would have an experience where I was able to. I closed my eyes to sleep, and I was peering into the pit of hell, and it was horrifying in a whole different sense. And I opened them, and I started thinking I had brain damage. And again, I closed my eyes, and I'm peering into hell. And so I pray to Jesus. I asked him to send the Holy Spirit to take those visions away, but I was afraid to close my eyes. I didn't have faith. So I prayed to him about his passion, and I understood for the first time in my life. My hands and feet had been pierced. My skin was torn off my back. I suffocated for 2.5 hours. Now again, it was just a taste of what he experienced for us. And I talked to him for about an hour, and then finally I decided maybe the Holy Spirit came, and I didn't think about the visions of hell that I was seeing. So I closed my eyes, and in front of me was this beautiful ball of light. And of course, I immediately opened it, and I thought I had brain damage. And so I was getting ready to hit the call button, and an audible voice just to my left, loud, just like we're talking, said, "Look at it. It is the Holy Spirit." And now I knew that I had brain damage. So as I'm getting ready to push that button, the voice goes into my head, and it says, "Look at it. It is the Holy Spirit." It pleaded with me. So I closed my eyes, and I looked at it, and I was transported into the vastness of space. And a lot of the similarities in the fact that I was in a timeless place now, but I felt the love and power of the Holy Spirit. It was just absolutely beautiful. And I did look at it. And as I was transported out to it, it grew to an enormous size. It was just so beautiful. It was covered with a beautiful veil. It was so bright you couldn't look at it, but this veil allowed me to see it. And scriptures flooded me, and I understood that, there's no battle between God and the enemy. That battle was won a long time ago. The battle is between man and the enemy, and God is the ultimate. There's no fighting that force. I mean, he's just the ultimate power. And as I looked at it, I could feel the love. I could feel love on my skin. Now, we've all felt loved, right? We know that emotion. I felt it like sun rays. I felt love. I felt the power. I felt mercy. I felt it like it was an audible or a tactile on my skin. And I wanted to stay there forever. I was at peace. I was not in pain anymore. And I never wanted to leave. Now, I love my family dearly, and I knew that, I need to be there for them. But this love, this peace, this joy, now I know I was not in heaven. I know that. I was just in the presence of the Holy Spirit. I say just. But heaven is more. And I never wanted to leave. And at one point it touches my soul, and I shared the prayer of union with the Holy Spirit. And again, much more detail in the book. But I came back, and what is left with me, I used to try to figure out what my mission was, what he wanted me to do. And I used to think, like, tap you on the shoulder and say, "This is what I want you to do." But my mission, I finally resigned to the fact is, I wake up every morning and I say, "Lord, let my will conform to yours." And whatever he tells me he wants me to do that day, that becomes my mission. That day. Today it was to come and talk with you guys. I don't know what it'll be tomorrow or the next.
And you do give talks at groups or you'll talk to anybody, right?
One person or a million. I'll tell it the same way. It's an important message. I have the website. You can contact me through that. Get the book and read it. I'll come to churches. I'll come to houses. That's what he calls me to do. Just like you called me. Out of the blue.
Right. And that's a whole nother story. For people listening, give us the title of the book and give us your website so people can go there and know how to connect with you. I think there's other things on your website as well.
Yeah, there's all kind of stuff there. But the book is called The Mystic Next Door, and you can get that through my website. It's also on Amazon and Kindle. So The Mystic Next Door, and the website is presenceofgodencounters.com. That's presence like he's here with you, not like a gift. But
So we've got about 3 minutes left or so. I guess what's your takeaway from all this that's happening? I mean, I know every day you're waking up and listening as best you can to do the will of God.
So again, I don't have any theological training, and I'm just a guy still. And again, I'm the least important part of this story. It's not my story; it's God's story, and I don't know why He chose for me to tell it, but I'm going to tell it. But I know now, and I understand that we can't just go through life being the good guy by the world standards. I strive to be the good guy by God's standards, and I understand that even no matter what I do on this earth, it'll take Jesus' mercy for me to enter into heaven.
So this is available for everyone to really just kind of wake up and get their act together, right?
It just, we focus on the wrong things, and we pay little attention to the things that are truly important, and so I try to awaken people to that. And this message means something different to everyone who hears it. Some people hear one part and some people hear the other part, and it's the way the Holy Spirit works.
No question. Our guest today has been Ed Josa, author of The Mystic Next Door. You can get a copy of that at presenceofgodencounters.com. Ed, it's been a true, interesting, and pleasurable story to hear. I think a lot of people will be blown away, and there's a lot more detail in the book. And I'm sure your talks are really interesting.
Yeah, I, if you ever see or hear of one, come to it. I'd love to have you talk to you afterwards. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. This has been a great blessing. Thanks for listening today, and please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.